That's exactly what you look like. I don't even need to see the picture anymore.
Okay, wait.
So you're
Okay.
starting YouTube?
Yeah, I am. Um, so basically, before we start, let's just agree on a basic definition of God. So, would you agree that God is omnipotent or a maximally great being?
Would I agree that he's omnipotent?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't
Just
agree that
wait. Okay, you
it
won't
matters
agree with
in
that
what.
because he doesn't exist. Let's just agree like on what the word God means. Even if he doesn't exist, what God
For
would
the
mean.
sake, wait, are we arguing how the
It's just
reality exists?
there's like four definitions online, and it's just like so like hypothetically, if God existed, like you don't have to agree
I'm
with it.
just
It's
gonna
just
Google God. Go with
what
that.
there's like seven
Okay.
definitions. I'm just like, would you agree on
The
the like
creator and ruler of the
omnipotent?
universe.
No, would you agree on the omnipotent, maximally great being for the definitions of God?
I won't
I
agree that
think
he's
that's a reasonable
omnipotent.
definition. What?
Uh, well,
Yeah.
it matters. It's kind of hard to take a stance on
Well,
something that you don't
it's just
believe
some dude
exists.
try to rat with it and try to say like God is like just like the best human alive. So I'm just being careful because
Wait, what?
yeah. So would you agree that
Um,
God is a maximally great being?
a maximum great being matters
Maximum.
what the context of our argument is. I'm gonna call that
Would you agree that God is
exists.
all powerful, just all powerful, maximally great? I think that just like
Well, I can't say that I think he's anything because I don't think he's real, but
yeah. Okay, no,
for the
no.
sake of the debate, let's say
Hypothetically, okay. So
hypothetically
just yeah,
he's
just the
omnipotent.
definition of God. He doesn't have to exist, right?
He doesn't have to exist. No.
Yeah, okay, so I'll just go with it. Sure. So, are you aware of possible and impossible, like logical possible beings and logically impossible beings?
Yeah, I
Uh,
think so.
okay, so would you agree? I can explain it pretty briefly if you want me to.
Go for. I'm literally pulling up a doc right
So
now.
basically, anything that's possible or a possible being is logically possible. It's a logical possibility, right? Not a physical possibility, just a logical possibility. So if a proposition is not logically impossible, then it is possible, right? Even if not actually true, right? So for example, unicorns would be possible because they're not logically impossible or logically contradicted.
Okay.
Right? So would you agree God is possible?
Uh, he is possible with no contradiction.
Yeah, he like the existence of God isn't logically contradicted.
It's not contradicted, but that's kind of
Yeah, so let
that's
me
a
give you an
way to
example
put
of like
it.
a logically impossible thing. So a logically impossible thing would be a square circle, right? That's
Well,
logically
there's nothing to
impossible.
contradict that God does, like God doesn't exist, but there's no evidence that he does, or he,
Right?
she,
That's just
it, whatever.
appealing to ignorance. That's just appealing to ignorance. That's a fallacy. Just because there's no evidence that he doesn't exist doesn't mean he doesn't exist. And you realize that the
Well,
statement.
with that argument, you can make an argument for anything, saying, well, there's no evidence that China's trying to nuke us, but we should nuke them.
Okay, so
No,
there's actually evidence. I'm giving it to you, but there's no
go
empirical
for
evidence, right? That's what you're saying. Like there's no like
yeah.
hard like someone saw it. It's ruined my video. Okay. Um. So what were you saying? Oh yeah. So you're saying I'm giving you evidence that he does exist, right? But you're actually for like empirical verification. Is that basically what you're saying?
That there's
Otherwise, you're
no
just
evidence.
appealing to ignorance.
I would argue that saying he is real is appealing to ignorance.
On what base? I'm not saying he's real. I'm just saying he's possible.
Possible, yeah. Is Manny here?
Nah.
Yes. Ugh. He's like a slightly
Alright,
less
so
angry British guy.
let's stay on topic. So you agreed that God is possible, right?
He is possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Thing
So
that
do
contradicts
you know
his
what a
existence.
possible world is?
A possible world? Under
Let
what
me get you the definition. So possible world. Go to Scans and Cox. I'll read it as well.
A possible world is a complete and consistent way the world is or could have been. Okay.
Now, a possible world is a hypothetical situation. It is generally like a way for philosophers to test an idea to see if it is logical by asking, could it exist in a world like our own? Right? So God can exist in possible worlds, right? That's my second
God
premise.
can exist in
I-
possible
If
world.
if it is possible that God exists, then God exists in some possible worlds. That's just like yeah. I'll just continue.
So your argument is God can exist in a possible world.
That's my second premise. That's not my whole argument. So I'll just move to my third argument. So if God exists in some possible worlds, then God exists in all possible worlds because God is necessary. Do you know what a necessary being and a contingent being is?
Necessary. I don't have the definitions pulled
I'll,
up
I'll just
now.
I'll just say it. So let
I'm
me
gonna look so stupid.
necessary entity.
Angry
Here it
British
is,
people roast me in
and
the
then a
comments.
contingent entity. Here it is. Contingent is just subject to change, right? So you and I are contingent. Like if our parents didn't meet, right? If something changed and our parents didn't meet,
So
then we
we're the
wouldn't be alive.
dependent variable in the possible world. It's pretty much
What?
simplified. So we're the dependent variables in the possible world.
Yeah. But God
Really
has to be
simplified.
necessary, right? Since he's a maximally great being. And basically, maximally
Well,
great
why
beings,
does he have to be necessary?
I'm explaining. So basically, maximum great beings, right? Maximally have like the maximum, uh, are maximally great in every attribute, right? So
Yes.
basically, if God was contingent, then he wouldn't be maximally great because being necessary is above contingent, right?